Normer Adams. Animals are really important to lots of people. Besides guide dogs and dogs that can learn to tell when someone might have a seizure, animals can also be used to help people get better in things like therapy or when they need to recover from being sick. Normer Adams was really high up in a tree, which would have scared him a lot in the past. But this time, he had an important job, saving Panda the cat. Panda had been stuck up in that tall tree for 5 days. Normer used to be afraid of heights, but that didn't stop him from rescuing Panda and bringing her back safely to her owner, who was waiting patiently on the ground. This would be Normer's 565th rescue since he started rescuing cats from trees 7 years ago, in 2016, and his third time saving the daring Panda. Normer and Panda are friends now. Panda must instinctively know that if he gets stuck in a tree, his pal Normer, a 70-year young retired therapist who regularly scales unimaginable heights to save terrified cats, will come to his rescue. The black and white kitty had been stuck high in a tulip poplar tree for 5 days before Normer arrived. The videos of his rescues are both scary and heartwarming because Normer often climbs way up the tree, even on thin branches, to save trapped cats. Sometimes it takes hours to convince a scared cat to come close enough for him to reach. Normer always carries a pole and net in case a cat is out of reach, but some cats willingly go into his arms. Once he gets the kitty in his bag, it's time for a triumphant journey down to safety. Normer believes that cats somehow know they're safe when their paws touch the ground again. It's not just the cats who are relieved. Normer has seen grown men cry and entire neighborhoods celebrate when their beloved cats are back safely. But Normer, this fearless animal lover, didn't always like climbing trees, especially the ones that needed ropes, a harness, a helmet, and lots of planning to be safe. He started climbing trees to overcome his fear of heights. The former counselor, Normer, wanted to conquer his fear by using a method called desensitization. He used safety ropes and a harness to help him. At first, he couldn't climb higher than 10 feet, but he kept trying and slowly got better. Normer used to enjoy being outdoors and exercising, but he realized that just climbing trees had its limits. Then he saw that people needed help rescuing cats stuck in trees, and he thought he could use his climbing skills for that. He started rescuing cats, and people were really grateful for it. That's how his passion and business grew. At first, Normer stayed close to the tree trunk, but to rescue cats, he had to learn to climb the tree's branches, move from one tree to another, and even hang upside down sometimes. It's important to know that this is not something you should try without the right tools and experience. If you need to rescue a cat from a tree, it's best to call a tree climbing expert like Normer. Now, Normer isn't scared of heights anymore. He trusts his equipment and knows a lot about trees. He has rescued over 640 cats, including more than 300 in just 2020. And the best part is that all his rescue missions have ended happily. He says that while his tree climbing expertise has also included some drone and model airplane rescues, they make up a small percentage of what he does. In-tree rescues take an hour and a half on average, but some have taken as long as 6 hours. Normer has a routine now when he receives a call requesting a rescue. He asks 2 questions. Is this your cat? And is it your tree? Once he arrives, his process involves assessing how he is going to reach the cat and slingshot a weighted rope near or above where the cat is perched. Normer does not charge a penny for his rescue services. That's right, this septuagenarian climbs trees to rescue strangers' cats, some of which are not too friendly, but for free. He says that after retiring 7 years ago, he committed to never having another job. Normer believes requiring people to pay changes the entire dynamic of his passion, as he doesn't need the money. So why charge? His favorite part is the impact it leaves on people. Normer likes to think the cats have something to do with it too. Xerxes. Animals often surprise us with selfless acts, saving people in many stories worldwide. This goes beyond just pets. Even wild animals have come to humans' aid when they needed help. In one incident in Commerce City, Colorado, on October 26, 2020, a man at a tire shop heard a kitten's cries from a parked truck. It was bitterly cold as he followed the sounds to find a tabby kitten stuck to the side of a semi-trailer's tire. The little kitten must have sought warmth but got trapped with her paws frozen to the metal. The man acted swiftly, carefully using warm water to free the kitten's paws and tail without causing harm. After almost half an hour, he succeeded in rescuing her and kept her warm with a blanket. He then took her to Dumb Friends League for the medical care she urgently needed. Despite the odds, the kitten managed to survive the challenging experience. She was freezing and trembling at first, but she eventually calmed down, feeling safe in the caring hands of her rescuers. During a closer examination, the staff noticed swelling and pain in her front paws, especially her left front leg. The kitten was relieved to get the medical attention she needed, along with warmth and food. She felt much better after receiving pain medication and enjoyed the company of a volunteer who provided tender, loving care. The dedicated team continued to watch over her progress until she was strong enough to move to a foster home for further recovery. The man who rescued her never stopped thinking about her, and he developed a deep affection for the little fighter from the moment he saved her. Without the intervention of this compassionate stranger, it's unlikely the kitten would have survived that night. Over the next few days in foster care, the kitten, Xerxes, named after a Grecian king, healed up nicely, and the worries in her eyes faded away. Xerxes spent some time in a foster home where her frostbitten paws recovered, and her initially frightened exterior began to crumble. Once she was all healed and healthy, she was reunited with the man who saved her. The man couldn't get little Xerxes out of his head and adopted her shortly thereafter. Xerxes is now happily settled in with her new family. Slava. Animals can be our best pals. They're great to be around, make us feel happy, and stay loyal to us. Some animals are incredibly brave and even risk their lives to save people. Once on a very cold and snowy day, a man named Slava was driving when he saw something that looked like a frozen furry ball on the side of the road. He thought it might be an animal, and it must be feeling super cold. Even though many cars passed by without stopping, Slava couldn't just ignore it. He tried to turn around, but the cat got scared and climbed a tree to hide. So he drove his car to the other side of the road and went back to where the cat was sitting in the snow. The cat couldn't move and wasn't making any noise. It was freezing, so Slava wrapped her up in a towel and brought her into his car. Slava then turned up the heat to full capacity to help remove the frost from her coat. He named the kitty Mika. Slava drove the cat to his father's house, where they prepared a warm bed with several blankets, a radiator, and a lamp nearby. The kitty was so happy to be warm and safe that she purred up a storm and thanked the rescuers by rubbing her face against their hands. Slava thinks that the kitten got lost in a field with some trees, and she couldn't find her way out because of the heavy snow. She didn't have the strength to move. After going to the vet, they found out the sweet kitty was only 6 months old. Sadly, her tail was very frostbitten, so the vet had to remove it. But little Mika was very brave during the surgery. Mika knew that everyone was trying to help her. She was patient and didn't complain. Instead, she was very sweet. 2 weeks later, Nika got much better, and her true personality started to show. She's an active cat who likes to play and run around. This cute and fluffy girl now lives in a loving home, and she's really happy. Even though there are some people who are unkind to animals, there are many others who are caring and kind to them. Sometimes the news can make us feel sad, but we should always remember that we have the power to help animals. Just one act of kindness can inspire many others to do the same. If you saw a cat that needed help, what would you do? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you.